My name is Heather Robertson Devine. I'm the founder and owner of Books Del Sur, and I started Books Del Sur to bring you some amazing books from Latin America from incredible authors. So today I'm excited to share another book with you from our biography set. So far this month I've highlighted and shared with you Viaje al Corazón de Neruda. So this is a book about Pablo Neruda. La Niña Violeta, a book about Violeta Parra, a musician. Sorry, Pablo Neruda, a poet. Violeta Parra, a musician. She sang Gracias a la Vida. That's her most famous song. And Darwin, a very well-known scientist who did a lot of traveling and exploring in Latin America to develop his theory on evolution and the characteristics of animals. So those are the three books I've shared, and today I would like to share with you Gabriela, la poeta viajera. This is a book about Gabriela Mistral. Gabriela Mistral, as you soon will learn, was a teacher, a poet, and a Nobel Prize winner from Chile. All of these books are available in our biography set, and I will post those links below today's Facebook Live. And they're also all published by Amanuta, which is a publisher from Chile. So the perspective of the authors is from the Chilean point of view. That's why there are two, well, actually, these three that I'm highlighting for you, Violeta Parra, Pablo Neruda, and Gabriela Mistral, are all actually Chileans. I'd like to share with you about the story of Gabriela, la poeta viajera. She's also a historically significant woman, as she was a Nobel Prize winner. And also at the end, or I'm just going to say this now, one of the standards that I've shared with you that fits this book is the comparison standard. So you could actually compare this book, Gabriela, la poeta viajera, to My Name is Gabriela. And this is also really awesome if you have some different reading levels in your classroom. Gabriela, la poeta viajera is a much higher level in terms of the text and also in terms of content. And Me llamo Gabriela, My Name is Gabriela. It's a bilingual text. It's written by Monica Brown. It's a much lower level. It's probably more like a first or second grade level book. So that's also to help you to differentiate. And then Common Core Standards Rung 9 is all about comparing texts. And so the story here in Gabriela, la poeta viajera, much more details, and it really focuses on her, the traveler. The book starts off with Gabriela coming out of the womb very rapidly. So it shares her mother getting carried off to, she was born in the Valle de Elqui. It's a very mountainous region in the north of Chile. And it shares that she came out and they almost didn't make it to the hospital in time. So that is how her life began, quite feverishly. She was born a healthy child, and her actual real name, I love that I have to say this because it's a great example of why I chose Spanish books. My Spanish is not native, and so I really wanted a good model for my students, and books are the most incredible model for them because of the language. My speaking itself, it's good. It's not great. So here we go. So then I have to say her name. Her real name is Lucia de Maria de Perpetuo Socorro Godoy and here we go, Alcayaga. Cayaga? Yeah. So you'll see in here her brother's name. They refer to him as Godoy. So she has quite a complex name, and her pen name was actually Gabriela Mistral, which is a common thing for authors, right? To have a different name as a pen. As a young girl, she was very interested in books. She learned to read quite young, and she was born into a very poor family. Doesn't talk very much about her father, but definitely shares about the life of her mother, her grandmother, and in the story it shares the first time she encountered a library and she discovered her love of books. And when she got to the library, she said, ¿Puede prestarme algunos libros? Le pidió a la bibliotecario, hablándole voluntariamente a un ser humano de mucho tiempo. Por supuesto, señorita, me da mucho gusto que alguien tan joven como usted se interesa en mis libros. So this is the first person she met to learn about books and to have a passion for books and to share her passion for books. She loved books so much, she did not stop reading them. They were her passion, and she read and she read and she read. And she told her mother at a very young age that she wanted to be a teacher. And her mother said, no sé cómo decírselo a Lucia, pero no podría ser profesora. No tengo el dinero para inscribirla en la escuela normal. And the escuela normal was the school that you needed to go to in Chile at the time. And so this is the early 1930s to become a teacher. And so her one option was to become an assistant, and so she became an assistant in school. And as an assistant, she actually traveled, and this is when her traveling began. She traveled to be a teacher all over Chile, and she actually, as far as this story goes, it never talks about her marrying or having a partner, a male partner. She had lots of friendships, which gives us some insights that perhaps at this time there wasn't a lot of documentation about sexual orientation, but perhaps she was not a heterosexual. But it's not confirmed either. So, but it talks about her different friends and her different friendships. So, and when she traveled, she so she traveled, and as she traveled, she met many people. And one of her friends, who was a professor, encouraged her to enter her poetry into a contest. And this is the beginning of her winning contest for her poetry. So, and it shares here that she did not want to hear the announcement. She actually just stood in the back, and they announced her as the winner, Gabriela Mistral, which many people didn't know who that was because that was just her pen name, right? And then she decided that she was going to travel and travel to the South. And in the South, she was a teacher, and she was a very well-known teacher. And then she decided to go back to Santiago, but then she also traveled to Mexico, and then she also traveled to her mom was also very sad because she traveled so much. Yeah, okay. So then she also traveled to Spain. And while she was in Spain, hi cousin, while she was in Spain, she met up with her brother, and her brother actually had just lost his wife and was left with a child. And so her brother shared with her, came to her to ask her for help with his son, his newly born son. And so she agreed to do such that, but she said that on one condition: you can never ask for him back. I would, you can't just share him and not go. So she raised this child as her son. His name was Yin Yin, and she and Yin Yin moved to Brazil at one point, and there, actually, this was during World War II, Yin Yin committed suicide. And they actually say this in the story, and they say this so beautifully. Por razones aún hoy desconocidas, el joven decidió quitarse la vida. So for reasons that are unknown, the young man decided to take his life. And it talks about how this was one of the saddest moments in Gabriela's life. And at the same time, or shortly thereafter, she was informed that she had won the Nobel Prize for literature. And so it was two incredible things happening in her life at once: an incredible honor and an incredible sadness. The president of Brazil sent her to receive her prize, and she was very well sought after and very well known. That is where the story ends towards the end of Gabriela's life. She was an incredible author, incredible teacher, incredible humanitarian. Incredible story of a woman that may inspire other young authors out there and your children. Great book to start maybe during poetry unit. We also have at Bookstore Gabriela Mistral, Poemas Ilustrados, or we have 4 of her fairy tales that she rewrote. All of them were published in various forms, and then these are all illustrated by Paloma Valdivia, Carles Belastros, some really famous, Carmen Drill, some very famous illustrators from Latin America have taken these stories, illustrated them into a beautiful collection of 4 by Gabriela Mistral. So an incredible author for our young people to learn about, to know that Spanish speakers, Spanish writers are winning Nobel Prizes. Because here in the United States, it's not very common for Spanish speakers or Latinos to win our Caldecott Award. So it is time right now when all awards are coming out, and there are some really exciting things. I'm sure you're familiar with the Caldecott. Also, the Puro Bel Pre Award just came out and announced that Yuyi Morales, the author of Dreamers, or the translation or the Spanish version, Soñadores, just won the Puro Bel Pre Award. So all kinds of exciting things like that. Please look for that. Please share that with your children, with your students. And another one for you to share is the story of Gabriela Mistral. We have it at Bookstore and Gabriela, la poeta viajera. We have lots of her poetry, and it's a great pair with Monica Brown's book, Yo Me Llamo Gabriela. That's all for today. Have a great week. I hope you open a book and open yourself up to another world. Thanks for joining me.